everybody. It is Glenn Hausman, and welcome to the No Vacancy Podcast, where we are broadcasting from the show floor of HX, the hotel experience, and the BDNY shows at Javits Center in New York City. It's early in November, and I'm a little bit chilly, but I'm also really excited because I got some great people on here to discuss an issue that is really important to me, and that's all about amenity dispensers in the room. I don't know if you all noticed it out there, but it's really starting to take root right now. And these folks have been at it for a long time. So let me welcome to the table right now. We got Mr. Ray Berger, president of Pineapple Hospitality, Ian Wallace, president of Dispenser Amenities, and Ray Ferretti, Marietta Hospitality, VP of Marketing and Brand Development. Gentlemen, how are you today?
We're great.
Outstanding.
Well, I'm really excited to have all of you here today. Now we got two Rays, so hopefully it'll be several rays of sunshine in this podcast. But I got to say, I want to make sure that we know who is who and all of that. So if you guys, during the conversation, could remind everybody who you are first so they get used to your voices, that would be super duper. Let me start with Mr. Ray Berger over here. Ray, you've been championing this for so long. It must feel really good that the industry is finally catching up to where you've been for years.
Well, after 25 years, we're an overnight success at Pineapple Hospitality and working the dispensed amenities, dispensed amenities trend that's risen over the last several years.
Yeah, it really has. I'll go to Ray Ferretti right now. How are you? Welcome aboard the show. So, tell me a little bit about dispensed amenities. I feel like you're changing the name on me.
You can say dispenser amenities, Ray. It's okay.
Right. Yeah, thank you, Ian. I appreciate you defending me over here because I'm feeling a little beaten up right now. Oh, the name's changed, and nobody gave me notice ahead of time.
We're just trying to stay away from the B word.
Yeah. So, Mr. Ferretti over there, you're with Marietta Hospitality, and you've been pivoting in this direction for a while now. Yeah.
Exactly. We've been producing amenities for over 40 years today. And really the only difference for us is the format sizes are getting larger. In past years, it was small bottles. Now it's gallons and replaceable bottles that are retail sizes. So really in our world, it's not much of a change because we've got assets to run large formats and small formats. And we follow the direction of the market. Whatever the consumer wants, whatever the guest wants, whatever the hotelier wants is our job to supply that.
Right, but also, Ian, I think that sometimes you got to tell the guest what is good for them, right?
Yeah, that's right. When I first came to this show 24 years ago, there was no such thing as a dispenser, and we were it. We were the first people to ever show it. People came to us and said, "What is that? That is never going to take. It's never going to work. It's never going to sell. People want this stuff in little bottles." And over the years, back in those days, single-use plastic packaging wasn't even a phrase.
Right.
That was not talked about at all. We didn't know that plastic was the enemy of the oceans and the fish and all that kind of thing. So now everybody, especially the younger generation, gets that. So we don't have to tell the guest anymore. They get it now.
Right. Everybody does get it. Now, I'm thinking about what's going on with these micro bits of plastic that seem to be in absolutely everything, in our water, in our food, like everything. It's kind of scary out there. So I'm glad to see that we're moving in this type of directions. And the greatest thing is, brands like Marriott and Intercontinental are now making this standard, Mr. Ray Berger. That's pretty cool.
Yes, it is. Just in the last 6 months, I would say the pedal to the metal has been put down on this particular dispensed amenities trend with IHG, Marriott making announcements, and now California enacting AB 1162. That's a phrase that you're going to hear a lot in the next
AB
coming months.
1162.
AB 1162, just signed early October by the governor out there, and that's going to eliminate in California anything in shampoo, conditioner, or body wash, anything 6 ounces or less will not be allowed. It's effective 2023 for hotels 50 rooms or larger.
Wow.
2024 for hotels 50 years or less. But guests are becoming aware of it now. Consumers are becoming aware of it now because publicity's occurred around that particular legislation. So guests are going to start entering hotels and saying, "Well, where's the dispenser? Where's the amenity fixture that I heard so much about with AB 1162?"
Right.
So you're going to get a lot of guest pressure in California, and now in January, New York congressman is going to propose the same kind of thing at the New York State legislature in Albany.
Right. I liked AB 1162 when it was a robot in Star Wars. That was one of my favorite ones out there. All right, so let's talk a little bit about, why dispensers are really becoming the norm in hotels. I think we set the scene a little bit, and I think number one, Raymond Ferretti, it's really about not wasting product, right?
Yeah, there is a pretty significant cost savings with bulk amenities, and I think the hotels are gravitating to that. So it's really a combination of the savings and the sustainability, really a combination of both those things that are driving the conversions today.
Right. And, and that makes a whole lot of sense to me, but forget the environment and stuff like that, right? I mean, that's good, but at the end of the day, I think a lot of the ways that we're moving towards doing the right thing for the environment is also doing right for the other thing, agreeing that pocketbook.
No question about it. When you use bulk amenities, you're not paying for the 1 or 1.5 ounce package,
right? And
you're not paying for what gets thrown away with that package at the end of the day. So there's no question that the savings are significant. It can be up to 70% on what your amenity bill is in a year.
Woo.
And that makes a difference. And you think about Marriott and IHG, those are enormous numbers.
Up to 70% savings. All right, so I know that there's some listeners over there, Ray Berger, that are saying to themselves, I don't want any of that pink goo junk in my room. I mean, that's just gross. But things have changed. It's not like that anymore.
No, in the last few years, with help from folks like Marietta, we've been able to launch many different branded amenity programs. So, just to name a few, Beekman 1802, Paya, Proterra, now Soapbox, which is a B corporation, first B corporation to launch a amenity program in hospitality. And all of these programs have gallon components, so they work very well, and it enables us to label or logo or put graphics on the various dispensers and amenity fixtures that are out there, so the guest understands they're getting a high-quality, consumer-branded product to use. So guests are benefiting by having a higher-quality product.
Right.
They're not paying for the packaging any longer. The guests and the hoteliers have been paying for the packaging, not what was in the packaging. Now they're paying for what they're actually using, so it kind of makes sense.
Well, that's interesting. So the packaging itself is just a high expense.
Probably 80% of...
What?
Yeah. If you think about the transportation and the packaging and everything that goes into a little 1 ounce or 1 1/4 ounce bottle, a large part of it is transportation, manufacturing of that plastic vessel.
Right. And I'll tell you, the thing that frustrates me most is if I'm in a hotel for one night, I only use part of those little bottles. If I'm in the hotel 2 nights, I might use the whole thing, but if I'm in 3 nights, then I'm on to using a second bottle, so there's always going to be a lot of that waste that you were talking about, Ray Ferretti. But I'm very curious as to all of these different brands that you're now bringing to the table and how that impacts a hotel's ability to brand good stuff and create guest satisfaction.
It's been really an evolution on the brand side. 2-3 years ago, we had very small percentage of brands that were interested in bulk gallons for refilling systems. Today, that's really changed. I would say that 80% of the brands are interested in getting into that sort of a format. And there are a few that are still hanging out there today that aren't ready to support gallons, but I believe that'll change. If you want to be in the space today, you've got to support gallons. And we're bringing brands to market today that only have gallon programs, may not even have a small bottle component any longer. So it's a big change on our part, and it does in a lot of ways make it easier. Every brand has the same gallon bottle today, so we're only filling one particular format when we get into dispensing bulk gallons. It makes it easier for us, and we pass those savings on to our consumer.
Right, so the inside of the bottles have got to have that right type of product, but so does the outside, right, Ian? It's all got to look good and feel good and match the tone and tenor of whatever that brand is trying to get across.
There's no question. There's a lot of dispensers now that are at this show, and there's some very, very beautiful dispensers. And there's no question that the whole movement towards the dispensed amenities approach is aimed at the guest. I mean, you think about all 4 of us at this table this morning wear glasses.
Right.
So when I go to the shower and there's a little bottle in that shower, I have to go and get my glasses so I can read what's in the bottle. I don't really want lotion on the little bit of hair that I have left.
Right. I totally get you, but I only wear glasses part-time, so I'm partially offended by what you're saying. I'm still making that transition as I'm creeping towards 50 with the glasses.
There's a little vanity here, I think.
Anyway, you have a
and
nice
speaking
looking.
of vanities, you got a lot of great products, and the many dispensers. Please continue.
You have a nice looking dispenser. You have a nice label that's very legible and easy to read in the shower, and you give the guest a whole better experience. Fighting with that little bottle, and the housekeeper having to clean up with that little bottle, and you got a lid over here, and the cap's over here, and the bottle's in the sink. It's just a completely different approach for the housekeeper and for the guest.
For me, as the guest, I've got a couple of observations. Number one is I take off that top, and I'm super clumsy, and it'll go flying somewhere, and then I'll wind up stepping on it. It'll be as painful as stepping on a Lego. Very, 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 very frustrating for me. And then the other thing that I've noticed is I happen to have stayed at a high-end luxury resort in Phoenix, Arizona, that had a little bit more of a nature, green, sustainability sort of tilt to it, and they were using dispensed amenities in the bathroom. And I thought that was a real interesting point, that now we're at that time in history where you can put it into a luxury hotel, and people are cool with it in a luxury hotel. And Ray Berger, I remember, man, people were like, luxury market will never, ever go for that.
Well, part of the issue was 25 years ago, there weren't that many options. So as Ian mentioned, he was it, So at this point in time, there's a tremendous number of options in terms of fixtures, dispensers, whatever you'd like to use, and they've become much, much more attractive. I mean, Ian's got 4 or 5 product lines that are probably, he would admit, a little more attractive than the original one that he brought out back in 1980 something. So,
right. Are you talking about yourself or the product?
So it's just amazing how many choices there are. I mean, combinations, permutations. I mean, just on our site alone, we probably have 5 or 6 different manufacturers and fixtures and dispensers, and we have a great collection of branded amenities.
Yeah, and I will say, as a guest, honestly, the first time I used the products, it was unusual and weird to me, but not because of the product itself, but because it was something new and different. But after I used it that first time, by the time I used it the second time, I wasn't even thinking twice about it. And I think that because of that, there's a false blockade that was put up, right? Because people didn't think people could adjust to it. But I think we get used to things really, really quickly. And when you add that component to it about how it's really the right thing to do for Mother Earth and helps the bottom line of the hotel, I don't see any reason not to go that way.
Yeah, in the addition, there is an experience benefit as well. You get plenty of body wash, right? A lot of us need more than 0.7 ounces of body wash to get through a shower.
I seem to need more and more every year. little weight gain humor there for you.
In addition, the ladies and guys with long hair have enough conditioner to use. So that does improve the experience pretty dramatically versus a small bottle.
Right, Ray. I think he just took a swipe at you.
So many fronts. I was just thinking that the hotel housekeeping staff has a really hard time actually determining if I use any shampoo.
Right. So I think it's important to put together this whole picture, because if I'm a hotelier and I've never embarked on this, then I'm probably sitting there saying I'm a little confused. What's with pineapple? What's with Marietta? What's with dispenser amenities? How does this all come together holistically so me as a hotelier could create a dispensed amenities program that'll bring success to my guests and the bottom line? Ian?
Well, we create our system to be the hardware manufacturer, and we're happy to have anybody's software through our systems. We make the hardware. Ray provide software of a variety of different really excellent brands that we're happy to run through our system. And so we can label it appropriately. We can make it look just like the brand wants it to look. They always approve what labels we do. So we are able to deliver their software through our hardware into a perfect guest experience.
And the best part is no end user agreements on the hardware or software, right? You just
Nope. No licensing agreements.
No licensing.
Except on his side where he's got licensing agreements with these brands.
Yeah. So how does it work? Do they go through you, Ray Berger, at
They could
Pineapple
actually
Hospitality?
call any one of us.
Oh, yeah?
We all work very closely together. So, they could start at Ian's company. They could start at Marietta's website. They could start at our website. They all of a sudden they're actually probably going to start to see some very similar things on those 3 different websites.
Right.
Because we're offering the brands that Marietta manufacturers in
Right.
the fixtures and dispensers that are made by Dispenser Amenities. So
Yeah, excellent. So, Raymond Ferretti, if I was interested in putting together this program, how would I know which brands to put in the dispensers? How do you guide me through that process to find the right type of product that meets my guests' expectations?
Well, a lot of things go into a selection of a brand. It's the level of your property, your budget, the type of fragrance you're interested in, the type of experience you're interested in. So we try to offer a wide variety of different brands with different experiences. We get through the process of making that selection, and then the hotelier then chooses a dispensing system. And there are many good ones in the marketplace today. We support them all. We coordinate our artwork and our brand approvals with our dispenser providers as well. And that's a big piece of this. It's very important that the dispenser is approved by the brand and that the artwork that's put on the dispenser is approved by the brand. So there's quite a bit of coordination between the three of us to make that happen. And Ray's correct. You can come to either one of us in the selling process and get direction on product, dispensers, and really how to make that purchase and get it set up, because there's quite a bit that goes into installing these units, managing and cleaning these units, and then managing a supply chain of liquids.
Yeah, and Ian, you've got a lot of different dispensers that have a lot of different looks and feels. How does all of that work for Dispenser Amenities?
Well, we have created over the years new and different things, different finishes, different looks.
Right.
We want to make the guest feel like it's something that they'd be delighted to have in their home. I want to have something as nice in this hotel room as I would have if I'd have it in my home. And we've worked with all the different brands that we serve to create what they want to see, that we want our hardware to represent what they want their software to be traveling in. And so we make very nice a variety of different finishes and beautiful units, we think, that serve the purpose of the guest experience perfectly.
Is there a difference between the dispensers that you would put in the guest rooms and, say, the public restroom facilities?
No question about it. We are not a public restroom. We're not a dispenser where you would push it 1,000 times a day. That's not the business we're in. We want something that's refined, much smaller capacity. We don't try to serve that.
Right. Which is, again, playing into that whole getting away from that pink stuff. Yeah, right. So what else do I need to know about what's going on right now in the world of dispensed amenities, Ray Berger?
Well, to sort of conclude on what we were just talking about. So the way you look at maybe Ian's company, Dispenser Amenities, is they're the hardware provider, manufacturer the hardware. The way you look at Ray Ferretti's company, Marietta, they're the software provider, supplier.
Right.
We're the guider and provider of both those systems. So if you want to sort of one-stop shop it, you can come to us.
Right. Excellent. Any other thoughts on this particular topic? I feel like we've told a good cohesive story, and you're leaving me wanting to go take a shower. I gotta tell you. So I think the only thing left to do is maybe tell us how we could find you and all of that kind of good stuff. Let's start with you, Ray Berger, and just go around.
Sure, Ray Berger, Pineapple Hospitality. That's pineapplehospitality.net. Ray at pineapplehospitality.net, or 636-922-2285.
Great, Mr. Ferretti.
Yeah, Ray Ferretti, everything on our website, marriotthospitality.com. I'm listed there. Our customer service is listed there. All of our brands and products that support bulk fills are shown as well. So marriotthospitality.com.
Great. Ian?
Ian Wallace from Dispenser Amenities, and our website is dispenser-amenities.com, and we show our complete range of everything along with a lot of the brands that we support there. So just have us a look on the website.
Great. So remember, hotelier friends, it's not just an issue of doing the right thing. There are jurisdictions such as California that are making this the law. Major hotel brands are finally wrapping their arms around it and putting down the gauntlet and saying this is the way that we're going to go. So it's not an issue whether or not anymore that you want to go that way. You're going to have to go that way. If by law or by brand or even more so by customer demand, this is the way we're going, and I want all of you to be ahead of the curve. So make sure you check out Pineapple Hospitality and their good friends at Marietta Hospitality and Dispenser Amenities. And remember, stay clean out there, people. So for Ian, Raymond, Ray, and myself, Glenn, thanks for listening to this bonus episode of the No Vacancy Podcast. Let's get clean. See y'all later.